Another concept for the world's history constantly repeating itself due to the fact that the people on it are consulting with mentally active terrestrial and mentally active celestial deities, right? Let's not call them things we can't wrangle and show, but let's consider that the world, its history, its concepts, its considerations, and the terrible things on it are repetitive only because they're consulting things that are mentally active, that are beyond their own individual concept. Let's talk about this, a consciousness beyond their own individual concept that gives them access to ideas and information that may have already happened before that they hadn't thought of, but isn't current, but has already been, like recycled thises and that's. Hey, listen, there's got to be something like that going on. There's got to be some reason for the repetitive history and the repetitive actions of humanity. And I believe on the whole, there's some reality in that, right? Because they don't push these concepts and have rights and odd stuff on them without some reality being there. And wherefore I have not been able to wrangle a spirit. I have been able to wrangle a mindset here and there based on the concept material associated, right? And you can wrangle that and release it, right? Bind it to you and release it in some way, shape, or form. And there is up to 8 of them at some point in time. I think there's some reality to this concept. Obviously, this is a fantasy concept, but I believe that there's some reality because it's in modern. The reality is the only real witchcraft is lies, deception, real technology, pharmaceuticals, chemistry, all that stuff. It's made by people who lie and deceive, right? They say it's good quality, good for you, but reality is it's stuff that's toxic, pollutive, not good for you, not good for the environment. And at the end of the day, if they're lying and deceiving, their title is witch and warlock, whether you believe that or not. I mean, it's in our parts of speech, right? Specifically with this language we're talking about. And another language, maybe they got titles for liars and deceivers that are colloquial with the production and craft and the foisting of information and deceptions, right? Because we know those people are, right? And they say, right, the types that are doing that are also supposedly consulting with spirits. But I believe they're consulting with something that preys on the mind and is active on the mind in some capacity and can have up to multiple things that are active on the mind in some capacity and drive the individual, the mindset, the thought patterns and possibilities into a perpetuity that's different from the individual's individuality, if that makes sense. So just put that on wax.